Throughout this whole session, it seems like one of the themes that everybody's been talking about is equality and fairness and leveling the playing field. And while everybody, or not everybody, a lot of people understandably are talking about the philosophical views of pro-choice and pro-life here, I've been looking at it from a fairness issue of a business. And as you heard me say before, let's say I wanted to open up a center and I want to comply with all the laws and the rules associated, not just with me, but similar entities. And I was really saddened to learn that if somebody if somebody alleged that my new firm had been advertising deceptively, we would end up in a legal court. And in the example I mentioned, I said, what would happen if I, the new owner, ended up being innocent of this allegation? And outside of that determination, it struck me, well, I didn't do anything wrong, but now I have to go through the battle that everybody else or any other business does when they're accused of doing something wrong. And this is very common, obviously, with all businesses, not just one, all businesses. And I sat there and said, I won't like it, but I'm going to have to go and spend money for attorney fees to stand up for myself and to really make clear that my reputation is not stained by an allegation that's unsubstantiated. What I don't understand is the hardest part I got would be the result of not guilty, innocent of any wrongdoing. That's great news. That's the way I think the judicial system should work. And it does for a lot of other businesses. Now remember, I said that this legislature was very focused on fairness, equality, and level playing field. We found out when I was having a discussion with the proponent, and it's also stipulated in the bill too, because it's not in there, that I, as an owner, as a business owner, having been absolved of any wrongdoing, am not able to be compensated for the thousands of dollars that I had to spend in legal fees. And so I'm asking myself, how is that fair? And why is it that the plaintiff can come after me with an allegation, not have to spend any of their own money because it's coming from the Attorney General's office, which is funded by the state government, so it absolutely doesn't cost any money for the plaintiff, but for me, the defendant, it's a David and Goliath. You got the whole Attorney General's office, all sorts of resources. I can't afford a law firm, but I can hire a lawyer. I do my best, and somehow, miraculously, I'm found innocent. But I can't get my money back. Does that sound right to you? That I spend $10,000 of money that I did not have budgeted or planned to defend my reputation, to defend my integrity, and now I can't get a penny back? Why should I do it? What happens if I didn't have the $10,000? Who is at the disadvantage here? Who's the one who's not having any level playing field? I'm a small business owner, just like a lot of other ones in this room. And all I'm doing is responding to an allegation, and heaven forbid I should want to try and maintain my reputation and integrity. But I'm willing to do it because that's number one. If my word and reputation are no good, that's it. And furthermore, before I got my license or my ability to be able to open, I went to all the state agencies. I asked them to define what deceptive practices were which are not defined in this bill, which are not defined anywhere else. I'm doing the very best. I said, I'm not arguing what's out there. Just tell me what to do, and I want to be in full compliance. So I've done that. What more can you ask of anybody who wants to start a business? Is it fair to penalize me for something that's not defined in statute, that's not defined in a written notice, that is totally subjective to the whims and wishes and interpretation of the Attorney General, by which they have no standard, and it's appealed to a court, to the judge, who says, well, what's the legislative intent? What's it say in the law? Zippo. Nothing. Thank you, Connecticut, for making me feel so welcomed and treated so fairly. This amendment is a very simple one. It's not based on politics. It's not based on philosophy. It's based on simple fairness. In line 91 after the cost, it says, because I know not everybody has it in front of you, it's very brief. It says, upon a finding by the court that a limited services pregnancy center that has not violated any provision of Section 2 of this Act, the limited services pregnancy center shall be entitled to recover reasonable fees and costs. Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of the amendment, and when the vote's taken, it'd be done by roll call. And let's just deal with this the way it should be. Forget we're talking about pro-life, pro-choice, pregnancy centers. It could be any business. Any business. The way this bill is being written now and implemented, and I do want to be a business, it strictly denies me the ability, the fairness of having my costs versus the Attorney General that has zero and a whole bunch of lawyers and a whole bunch of resources to which I don't have, and I'm going to have to pay for every single little thing, whether it's copying a piece of paper or what. And I'm going to appeal it. I can't get a dime back for that. If you vote against this amendment, then you're voting against people's right and businesses' right to be able to defend ourselves. And if we're found innocent, well, that's okay. We're found innocent, $10,000 out of your pocket, too bad. If that is not grossly unfair and absolutely against all this stuff about consistency, about equality, about fairness, then we might as well do it against any other business that happens. I feel very strongly about it. I don't think it's hard at all. It's dealing with a very simple practice and common sense. And if the government thinks that they're better, we know they're bigger, but they're better, and they're going to deny me the ability that a lot of other businesses would have, then I don't even want to be in Connecticut. This has nothing to do with simply being fair and honorable, and I move that we adopt this amendment. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.